Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in just a minute or so. I'm just waiting for a couple more people to join. Okay, it looks like everyone that I think would be here is here. So, hi, my name is Sophie, and I'm part of the customer success team based in Toronto. So, thank you for taking the time to join us for today's introductory webinar. During today's webinar, you will learn how Umapped is helping leading global brands and travel advisors engage with their customers throughout their entire travel journey. By using our collaborative experience platform, you can deliver interactive, branded, and consolidated mobile proposals and itineraries with relevant content and messaging for your clients. You'll also see how the platform maximizes productivity and streamlines your business workflow. During today's 35-minute webinar, we'll start with an overview of the client experience, so taking a look at how your clients will receive and view their trips online, via the mobile app, and as a PDF. Next, we'll demo Umapped's online trip building platform for travel professionals, which is called the Trip Publisher. And we'll finish today's webinar with a review of the training resources and the support that's available to you, making sure to save some time for a live Q&A. Before we begin, I just want to make sure that you all have access to a complimentary trial. So if you haven't already signed up for a trial, visit umapped.com/trial, or just go to our main page at umapped.com and click on the sign up button in the top right corner of the page, and then complete the trial form. After submitting your request, our customer success team will send you a confirmation email with your account credentials and further login instructions. So let's begin our live demo by reviewing the client experience. When ready, your client's trips are delivered by email and are available in 3 formats. Clients can access their trips online, as a PDF, and via the Umapped mobile app. All formats of the trip are branded for you and include your company logo and contact details. So this in front of me is an example of the email that your clients will receive, giving them access to their trip. Your branding and contact details will be displayed at the bottom of the email. This email is all your clients need in order to access their trip. They can click on the View Your Trip button to access the web view of their trip, as well as the trip PDF, or click on the App Store and Google Play Store icons to download the Umapped mobile app. So let's start by taking a look at the web view. This View Your Trip button opens a dynamic trip link that can be bookmarked and then accessed at any time. When your clients are accessing the web view for the very first time, they will need to enter their email address in order to validate that they're actually a traveler on this trip. The first thing your clients will see in their day-by-day itinerary is your branding right at the top. Your branding and contact information is displayed front and center. And there is also a download button for the trip PDF, of which we have 2 different versions, a full PDF and a print-friendly option without any images. I'm going to download the PDF and then come back to this in a few moments. Your clients can view their day-by-day trip details and any important information that you have included in their trip. The amount of details or information in the trip is always up to you based on your clients and the type of trip. All of the photos that have been displayed here have been added from one of the many image libraries available in the Trip Publisher. We have hotel and cruise photos preloaded for many properties and cruise lines, as well as a photo library licensed for commercial reuse that is available. Also note this chat icon, which displays on trip segments. This is the messenger feature. When enabled, it allows for real-time chat and notifications, which your clients can access on the web and mobile app trip views. When your clients chat with you using the messenger, you will also receive an email notification, and you can even reply directly from your email. And it'll display into the chat window just like this. You can also access chat messages from the Trip Publisher itself. And this is where, on flight segments of course, your clients will receive day of flight notifications. You will notice the Add icon, this little blue plus button, located on the bottom right corner of the page. This is the Traveler Collaboration feature that is available for both the web view as well as the mobile app. This allows your clients to build and personalize their trip details with information including dinner reservations, trip notes, or any other activities that they have booked on their own. While they cannot edit or delete any of the segments that you have added, it allows your clients to consolidate all information in one place with one consolidated view of their trip. At the top, the Documents tab is where any supporting documentation for the trip is available. This can include PDF attachments like vouchers and e-tickets, destination content, and any other important travel information that your clients may need to reference. Beside that, the trip map will pinpoint all of the destinations that your clients are traveling to. And there is also a trip calendar where clients can view all of the trip details on a calendar view with the option to sync to their personal Google Calendar, iCal, or Outlook calendar. The web view is mobile responsive and will resize to fit to the device that your client is using. So whether that's the desktop, a tablet, or a phone. Like I mentioned earlier, the PDF provides a printable option for your customers who still prefer paper. There are 4 different design templates that you can select from in your preferences in the trip publisher, but we'll touch on that a little bit later. Next, I'm just going to share my mobile simulator as I have that pulled up. So your clients also have the option to download the Umapped mobile app for either from the App Store or the Google Play Store so that they can view their trips on their smartphones while they're on the go or in destination. One of the great benefits of the mobile app is that trip details are available even when your client's phone is offline, meaning no Wi-Fi and no network connection. Additionally, if I go into one of these segments, you can see that they can access directions as well as live weather reporting. And again, you will notice at the top of the trip that your branding and contact details are always displayed at the very top. Let's go back to the main screen. Shut that. So now that you can see what your clients will receive, I'm going to show you around the actual trip publisher, which is Umapped's trip building application for travel professionals. This is where you can build and edit proposals and itineraries. So to log in, go to pub-trip.umapped.com/login and bookmark this link for future visits. Once you're logged in, you'll be taken to your dashboard. On the top right is where your account details will be displayed. If you click on your user details, a drop-down will appear and display My Account, Submit Feedback, Send Us an Email, and Log Out. For new users, I suggest selecting My Account in order to update your user profile information, as these are the details which are displayed in the client experience. This is also where you can change your password. Within My Account, you also have the option to select User Profile, Preferences, and Plans. If you click on your preferences, this is where you can update your account preferences, including some of the features I mentioned earlier, like flight notifications or traveler collaboration, or where you can choose between the 4 different PDF layouts. If you click on Plans, you can view and update your billing details. On your dashboard, which you can return to by clicking on Back to Trips in the top left corner, you can review all of the trips that you have created within the default tab, My Trips. Your dashboard is also where you can search and access all of your past and present trips. Depending on your plan type, you may also be able to view all of the trips that have been created by your company by selecting Company Trips. Selecting the filters icon to the top right corner gives you the option to filter through your active trips, so by date, by status, so pending or published, by the creation date, so whether it was created today, or it was created 7 days ago, or a month ago. And then of course you can always filter your trips by adding a keyword. And then I will just remove all of those. Clicking on the menu icon in the top left corner will reveal some other tabs, including the library and admin tabs. From within the library, templates, documents, and vendors are covered in more advanced webinars and allow you to save profiles for various suppliers, as well as content for various guides and other templated notes. And I would also like to highlight the support portal. By clicking on support, you can gain access to our online knowledge portal, and you can also send questions to our customer success team. So let's click the plus new button at the top right of the dashboard to start the trip building process. Enter a name for your trip. Actually, let's go back to trips. I'm in my template still. Trips plus new. So enter a name for your trip, as well as the travel start and end dates. And then you also have the option to add trip tags, which is a great way to apply labels to your trips so that you can easily search for them on your dashboard later. Click Create Trip to save this new trip. On the main page of your trip, you will see a large gray thumbnail image. Click on this image to add your cover photo. We always recommend adding a cover photo, as this is the background image that displays in the traveler email, as well as the different formats of the client experience that we just reviewed. So there are a few different options for adding a photo. The first is by searching the image library. So this is a free library of licensed images that is available to all users. The second is searching the web, or you can always upload your own photo. Just 1 second. Sorry, my cat wanted out of my room. All right, so for the sample today, I'm going to search the web using a keyword as well as a URL. So once I've selected a photo, so I'm going to select this one and upload photo. Voila, c'est tout complet. So in today's demo, I'm going to highlight how you can easily consolidate bookings from a variety of integrated systems like Sabre and Clientbase, as well as how to import from partnered suppliers. We'll also demo how to create your own trip segments, and finally, how to share or send a trip to your travelers. So I'm going to begin on my left-hand side and then gradually make my way over to the right. So import bookings is where you can access the different system integrations that are available. So this is where you can access your GDS PNRs, your client-based res cards, and access any booking confirmation emails that you have forwarded into the trip publisher. You can also import from Sabre Tripcase, Travelport, and WorldSpan by selecting PNR Import. If you use Sabre, we have a direct integration allowing you to queue your PNRs to the trip publisher. Your PNRs can be retrieved from the booking inbox and then added to any trip. So here's how it works. I'm going to add my sample PNR into the keyword box and then click Search. You can select the drop-down arrow to view details of the PNR, and then select the ellipses, the 3 vertical dots, and click Add to Trip. This PNR contains flights and accommodations only, but anything that has been booked in Sabre will be imported, formatted, and then ordered chronologically. The best part of this integration with Sabre is that anytime that you make a change to the PNR in Sabre, all you have to do is re-queue it to the trip publisher, and your trip will automatically update. If you need to view or edit information within a specific segment, click on View Details. A right door will open, and you can now view all of the segment information. So in this flight segment, I can view the passenger details by hovering over passengers, as well as some additional airline details. And when hovering over the top right corner, I can click the pencil icon to further edit, or the trash icon to delete. The client-based integration is a very similar workflow. Your res cards are also accessible via the booking inbox. Enter the res card number into the keyword field, click search, and then follow the same steps as demonstrated when entering my Sabre PNR. For both the Sabre and client-based integrations, there is an initial setup that is required. So if you'd like to learn more about how to get this set up for your company, please reach out to our customer success team at support@umapped.com for further instructions following our webinar. If you use Apollo, Galileo, or WorldSpan, you can import your PNRs by coming to the second tab, PNR Import, and then entering the PNR, the lead passenger last name, the GDS, and then clicking on Import. It is important to note that this is not a direct integration to your GDS, and PNRs imported via this method will not automatically update when there are changes. If you need to go back to your main page at any point during the trip building process, select Trip from the left navigation menu. So I'm going to skip over travelers because we're going to talk about this towards the end. And import template is covered in some of our more advanced webinars. So once again, going to skip over that and go straight to suppliers. So suppliers are where you can import bookings or content from a list of partnered tour operators, as well as some DMCs. How each integration works varies slightly by supplier. So we'll use Inside Vacations for today's example. Simply enter the name of the destination or the name of the tour or itinerary and click search. From there, you can click the details to see the details of the tour, or click import in order to add that tour to your trip, much like I'm doing right now. Just going to give that a second. And voila. For some suppliers, such as Classic Vacations, you'll be required to enter your username, password, and your client's booking reference number in order to import their trip details. Moving on, destination content. Umapped is partnered with AFAR and W Cities, giving you access to curated guides and recommendations for over 500 destinations around the world. For AFAR, you can either add a destination guide or specific recommendations. Select from the list of trip destinations or click Search by City Name in order to manually enter a destination. I'm going to select London and click Search. From here, if everything looks good, click Add to Trip and then select a date. I prefer to always add these larger destination guides to the end of my trip, so I'm going to put it on October 19th and add that. For W Cities, select a destination and content type from the source drop-down menu, and then click Search. From here, select the checkbox to the right of the content that you wish to include, and then click Add to Trip, and then you just have to, like before, choose a date and then confirm that date. There are several different ways that you can add and attach a PDF, Word, or library document to a trip. The first is by selecting Documents from the left side. Select File Attachments and click the Attach File button. I'm going to add a sample voucher from my desktop and then click Attach File. If you need to preview or remove your document, click on the ellipses for more options. Like I mentioned earlier, you can create, store, and manage your own content within your library. Since we're not talking about that today, I'm not going to show you how to do that. But for our sample today, I will add a city guide for London that I previously created by coming back to Content from Library, that first tab, clicking on Add Document, and then searching London in the keyword search. Select the document with the checkbox, and then click Add Document. You can also add a document right from within your trip page so that your clients can easily access it when viewing their trip in both the web view as well as the mobile app. So I'll select Trip to head back to the main page. Click View Details for the particular segment that you want to link the supporting PDF or Word document to, and then click the Attach File button on the bottom right side of the drawer and upload a file. So this time I'm going to do my e-ticket. Attach. Once you've added your document, you can hover over the files to preview or delete your document. And you can tell that it's been added because there's that little paper clip in the corner. Moving on, Calendar is where you can come to see a calendar view of the trip. And the Settings is where you can view and edit trip details. So select the ellipses to duplicate a trip, create a new template from a trip, or delete a trip altogether. And then the Audit Log, the second tab up here, is where you can view a history of actions for a particular trip. So let's head back to our main page. And now let's go a little more into how we can manually create your own trip segments. So on the bottom right corner of the trip, you can click the Add icon to create your own segments, add cruise content, and trip notes. We have thousands of vendor profiles within the trip publisher for accommodations and cruises that include photos, addresses, and contact information. So let's add a hotel in Rome. Select accommodation and then search for your hotel. I'm going to add the Rome Cavalieri Waldorf Astoria from October 7th to the 13th. This hotel already has a vendor profile created that includes information about the hotel, as well as photos of the property. So simply add your check-in and check-out dates and times, and then click Add to Trip. And then you have a bunch of other categories to add info to. To add a cruise, click the Add icon, and then select Cruise. Enter the ship month, ship name, the sailing month and year, and then click the Find Cruises button. So I'm going to look for the Norwegian Epic, October of 2020, and then search. From here, you just have to pick your cruise sailing date and itinerary by just clicking it till it grays out, much like this one here, and then scroll down and select Import. Of course, if it's not available, you can always add a cruise manually. You can also add a trip note. This feature allows you to add a customized note for your clients that can include detailed links, photos, and embedded videos. For our sample today, I will add a bon voyage message for my clients. Select Note, and then add a title. So I'm going to say, have a fantastic trip. The dates and times are entirely optional depending on the kind of note that you're adding, and then you just need to add your details. So I'm going to say, thank you for booking with us. And then you always have the option to make the note internal for you or someone that you're collaborating on the trip with by clicking on Hide Note, as these kinds of private notes are only visible in the trip publisher. Or you could just go ahead and add it to your trip. And then all the stuff you can add to it right there. At any time during the trip building process, you have the opportunity to publish a trip by selecting the Publish button in the top right side of the page. Once a trip is published, it is live and all formats of the client experience will be available. So this is the web, PDF, and mobile versions. When publishing, you have the option to leave a note that will display in the traveler email, or you can just go ahead and publish the trip like I just did. This trip is dynamic, so you always have the option to make any edits or changes. If there are any significant updates, always remember to republish the trip so the changes will be reflected on your client's view. You'll notice a few icons that are displayed to the right of the trip name and dates. You can use the share icon located at the top of the trip to invite collaborators and to add your traveler emails. You can invite a collaborator or add your travelers by selecting the share icon. Although, as I'm sure many of you can see, you can also add travelers simply from the left-hand navigation menu, and that just makes it a bit more obvious. The collaborator feature, by contrast, allows you to share your trip with other travel professionals like suppliers, DMCs, vendors, and tour operators. So for this instance, I'm going to select the share icon, but I'm going to click Travelers. So this will bring you to your traveler page. From here, click on the Add Traveler button, and then add your client's details. So the email address, the first and the last name. You can see that because I add this email so frequently, the first name and last name were actually remembered in the platform. So I didn't have to add them. And then I'm going to click on Add Traveler. Once you've added your traveler, your client will receive a personalized branded email with all of the information they need in order to access their trip. Going back to my trip, you can select the preview icon, which is located to the right of the share icon, to access both versions of the PDF and the web view. And lastly, you can click the pencil icon to edit trip details like the name, the dates, and any tags you may have added. So we have reviewed various versions of the client experience today from the web, PDF, and mobile versions, highlighting some benefits and features for the clients, as well as how to build a trip in the new Trip Publisher experience. Reviewing some of our more popular integrations throughout our trip building process, like Sabre, client base, suppliers, as well as destination and cruise content. And very briefly, we went over vendor profiles. So you should now be familiar with how to very generally create a trip, but we also have some tools that will help you along the way. Our support portal, which you can access at pub-support@umapped.com, is where you can access a getting started guide, as well as step-by-step tutorials for all of the integrations and features that we covered today. We also encourage you to go to our website and click on webinars, which is where you can access a one-on-one meeting, access the intro webinar again if you ever need to, and where you can access any more advanced webinars that we're doing in the future. Like, for example, at the end of August, we're hosting a week-long boot camp. So you can always sign up for this, and we have the whole, we have the list of all of the different topics and the content that we're going to cover in those on those days listed just here. And these will all dive into some of the more advanced features of the Trip Publisher. But if you have any topics for any suggestions for future topics that you would like to see covered, just email us at support@umapped.com. I'll also be sharing a recording of today's webinar so that you can review this again on your own time. And now I'm just gonna wait to see if there are any questions, and if not, I might have to leave a little bit early just because we have a Virtuoso Travel Week this week, so I have some meetings, but I'm gonna wait and see if there's any questions. Okay, so it doesn't seem like there's any questions, but if there are that occur to anybody after this webinar or when they're just trying it out for the first time themselves, you can always schedule, like I mentioned, a personalized one-on-one where you actually get to talk to me and ask questions face-to-face, or just email us at support@umapped.com. So thank you everybody for participating, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. So take care. Bye.